The last time you saw your parents, did you know it was going to be the last time?
No. No, I didn't know anything. When they took me away from my mother, I never knew I'll never see her. But I found out next day that they took them all to the crematorium and they burned them. And I still think about it. How my mother watched her children die. It doesn't leave me.
How often do you think about it?
Very often. At night when I go to sleep.
What do you believe is the most important thing for the world to learn from your story?
That it shouldn't happen again. There shouldn't be anti-Semitism, and people should get along. All nationalities should get along. Everybody is a human being.
If you had to introduce yourself to the world, what would you say?
I don't understand what you ask.
If you had to introduce yourself to the world, what would you say?
Okay, I'm Betty Fight, but I was born in Romania to a religious family.
How long did it take after liberation for you to feel happiness again?
I never could feel as happy as people are. I can never laugh like people do. The bad thing started for me in 1938, before even the war broke out, because in Romania the government was very anti-Jewish. And when I went to school, the principal used to hit us while we waited in line to go into the class. And I had a good teacher. She didn't let us go out to recess because we were always attacked. And I see teenagers, how they're happy and they laugh. I can never do that.
Why not?
Because my whole life as a teen was very bad. I was able to go to school for 2 more years, till 1942. Then Jewish children couldn't go to school.
How old were you?
I was about 12. I was very, very hurt when I couldn't go to school. I used to watch through the gate children going to school, and I couldn't go. I was a very good student, and I loved school, but I couldn't. And after a month, in May 22nd, 1944, they put us in cattle cars. We were all together in a corner in that cattle car. And we traveled for 4 days. When we got to Auschwitz-Birkenau, it was evening, and it was dark. And prisoner came up to the cattle car and once said to me that I should say I'm 16. And I was holding my little sister who was 5, and we came down, and they took her away from me and gave her to my mother, and they took me away, and I'll never see my parents again.
Do you still have faith in humanity?
No. I think they do terrible things. They're capable of doing terrible things to other human beings for no reason at all. And there were fires burning. So we thought they'll take us alive to be burned. So a lot of people got very hysterical. I asked the German to please shoot me first. Next morning, we were marched into the Seelager, and we seen the dead bodies that they shot the night before still on the street. Of course, I was very unhappy, and I was crying for my parents. And one day the capo from the block grabbed me by my neck, pulled me out, and said if I won't take care of myself and stop all that crying, I'll wind up in the chimney just like my mother and father.
While you were experiencing what you went through during the war, would you have believed that one day you would be sitting in New York City with your grandson?
No, I couldn't visualize that. Never, never.
So what is it like to actually be here?
Terrific. After a few weeks, I found out my older sister that I didn't grow up with together was in Block 7. So I joined her there. I was always sort of taking care of people. In the camp, when I was able to get some extra soup, which I told you I used to bring to my sister and my cousin and a girlfriend in another block, in another place I used to bring it. Next morning, I volunteered to go bring the soup from the kitchen. But I noticed a lot of bodies on the wires, and the whole Zeelager was empty. They took that night to the crematorium 10,000 people. And then we went for a selection near the crematorium. We were standing there for a few hours. And then we went for selection. Mengele was selecting us.
With everything you've been through, have you ever lost your faith in God?
I have a lot of arguments with him. I used to speak to him all the time. And I asked him, why is he punishing us so much?
Did you ever find an answer?
No. No. When they selected you, they looked, you should be strong to work. So some people, they didn't think strong enough to work. They didn't take him. And at the end, they selected you nude. You had to pass a room nude. If you had any pimples or something, they didn't take you. You had to have a clean body, and you have to appear to them strong enough to work. And I was lucky I was able to pass. And they lifted me up when I got into that room that I was able to pass because I was young and skinny. And they gave us clothes there. They put us in cattle cars, and we went to Germany. I think it's important to have religion, because when you drown, you hold on to a straw.
You never lost grip of that straw?
No. I never lost the straw. But on April 26, 1945, we were liberated. The Americans came, just a truck or a jeep with a few Americans. And there was a chaplain, and he said the prayers with us, and we were there for about a few days. I wanted to go back home to see maybe somebody's alive. I couldn't imagine not having anybody left. And there I found my brother, one of my brothers. So we were very happy. I had a sister and I had a brother. By that time, President Truman passed a law that he's allowing 200,000 of displaced persons into the United States. And I registered with my sister. And in 1949, we were able to come to the United States. And during that time, I went to find a job. On the same block, there was a place where they made little boys' coats. And I went upstairs and I asked him for a job. He says, "Do you know how to sew an electric machine?" I said, "I don't, but you're a nice gentleman and you're going to teach me." And he did. He taught me, and I earned $35 a week, and I felt very rich. There were many times I wish I was dead, because it was very hard for me. I felt very much alone.
Are you able to trust people?
Yes. Well, I only affiliate with people that I trust. If I don't trust people, I'm not in contact with them.
When you see this photograph of your wedding, what do you think?
I recall how happy I was. I love to watch it. In 1951, I met my husband.
What did you think the first time you saw him?
He was tall and handsome. In 1953, we got married. And we had 3 beautiful children.
Did he propose to you?
No, I told him it's time he marry me.
What did he say?
He said yes. See, we always had our own home in Europe. So to me, it was very important to have my own place.
How would you describe the lasting psychological effect going through the war has had on you?
I was depressed all the time. I had terrible nightmares. I used to scream. We had a detective, he came out once with a gun because I was screaming so loud. I lost my voice because I was afraid they were chasing me. I dreamt that I was in camp.
How long did those dreams last for?
For years, for years. Whenever I felt threatened about something, he helped me and made it okay.
Would he say anything to you?
He didn't have to say anything. He just said it's okay. Made me feel very good. I miss that mostly about him. I miss that a lot.
Do you still believe there's good in the world?
Yeah, there are some good people. There are people who help other people. Not everybody's bad. You know, I went back to Auschwitz in 1987. My husband took me back to Poland, and we went to Auschwitz. After that, I didn't have as many nightmares. It was like I said goodbye.
Throughout your life, were you still able to experience moments of joy?
Sure, when my kids got married, when they graduated medical school, I was very happy. And I'm happy. If my children are happy, I'm happy. Many times I think I should have had one more. If I would have known they turned out so good. I love being with them. And I'm very proud what they are. How they behave. I want the best for them.
And in spite of that, she was able to make a wonderful life for herself, raise 3 wonderful children, and be married to the same man for how many years?
64.
64 years to the same man.
You need to hold on to something.
What are you holding on to today?
I'm grateful to him for all the good stuff. I thank him every Friday night for all the good things. I always think it's going to be better.
Did it get better?
Sometimes. Most of the times.
What is it like to have experienced everything you have and be alive to tell the story in the year 2018?
Unusual. I never thought I lived that long.
Are you grateful you have?
Yes. And I'm very lucky.